This is Nick Beatus. We are interviewing Reimer. Lee, it's pleased to meet you again.
Nice to meet you too.
It's good to see you. Can I ask you, if your career, you've been successful in so many musical fields, you're back doing rock, is this a comeback to rock, or have you been doing rock all along?
Oh my gosh, I hate the word comeback.
Tell me.
No, I've consistently done rock, and continue to do rock shows the entire duration. Well, actually, that's not completely true. I did take a bit of a hiatus for about a year or two and only did jazz. Okay. That was, and I'll explain why, in 95, 96, like the face of music in the mid-90s really changed, and anybody who was attached to corporate or commercial rock, once Nirvana hit the airwaves, it's like we were like, you know, blacklisted or something, and it was, I think it was really hard for a lot of us artists, because it's all of a sudden it was just like you couldn't get video play and you couldn't get radio play, and I mean, things went sideways with my manager and lawyer at that time, and I ended up having to declare bankruptcy in '96.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's not an uncommon story, and I mean, the good news is I did shelter enough money to make a full recovery from that, but I was really fed up with trying to maintain like my status in just the world of pop culture. I mean, there's always a 20-year-old around the corner there to kick your butt, right? And I mean, and it's a very, you know, it's a fickle industry, and it's a transient industry, and you know, you're not the hot new thing anymore, and someone else is coming along. With that said, yeah, so I took a year-long hiatus, and when I came back, I just didn't want to do rock anymore. So I just, I took comfort in my old jazz records, because I love that genre of music as well, and a friend of mine was just like, you know, why don't you just sing this, like you're so good at it. And so I you know, put together an ensemble, and I started doing some shows around the Vancouver area, just little nightclub shows, and the momentum grew, and then the next thing you know, I was like, you know, in the local entertainment section of the paper, they were just, the sort of media attention just sort of started coming, and then people were like, you've got to do a record, and I did an album, and then the next thing you know, I was doing jazz festivals across Canada, and I was like, oh, it just sort of evolved, you know. And I did the Top of the Senator here in Toronto, and I mean, I feel good about that sort of duration of my career, because I did, I think I proved to myself that I could step outside of the rock box, if that makes sense. And a lot of people, you do get kind of pigeonholed when you have a strong image and a strong personality, and I proved to myself, and I think industry types alike, that I was capable of doing more than just rock. And but yeah, I mean, I love rock and roll. There's nothing more fun than strapping on a guitar and getting up there and doing your thing. And
you did. I saw you the other night. And this band is relatively new, is it not?
Well, myself and my bass player and my drummer are from the Vancouver area, and I have a West Coast band, but I've been toying with the idea of, because you know, in this day and age, there's not a lot of places to play anymore. There's not a lot of bands that are actually can be a hard ticket and sell out, and a lot of it, just going back and forth across the country, is economics. And my husband is actually writing a biography for Mark Volman from the Turtles.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Mark said, why don't you put together an East Coast and West Coast band? That's what we do in the Turtles. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea. I never thought of that. And I recently connected with Sean Kelly through the Metal on Ice project. And Sean had said to me, if you ever want to put together an East Coast band, let me know. And so I called him up a few weeks ago, and I'm like, can you find me a keyboard player? Let's do this. And so yeah, we came out and we flew in and we did an evening of rehearsal, and I mean, these guys are just like monster players, so it's like, it just gelled in like an hour, and we're like, so it just feels like we've been playing together for years.
Fantastic.
So, and yeah, so it's, and they've just got great enthusiasm and energy on stage, so it's...
You're definitely a big influence for me. I mean, I've been in bands too, and you were a huge influence. Can I ask you, okay, it's not a comeback, there's been a continuity of rock playing and all that kind of thing, but who are your heroes? You're my hero, who are yours?
I'm your hero, that's crazy. Well, my heroes are quite varied. One of my favorite jazz artists is a lady named Nina Simone. I don't know if you like.
I know her work.
You know, I mean, she rocked. I mean, she had such passion. Oh, and now we've got.
We'll
Continue? Yeah,
Sure.
we have a bass sound check going on at the moment.
Well.
Anyway, this is the world of rock and roll, right?
Exactly.
Like, you know, she was Juilliard trained and just an incredible musician. She had such passion. And I mean, so for me, I draw my passion and stuff off of listening to artists like her, old Ella Fitzgerald. I'm just trying to think. In terms of the rock world, you know, when I started listening to rock, I was sort of cut my teeth on artists like Elton John. I know, like, I mean, I think my music, even though there's power guitars, has always had a pop sensibility to it. So, like, I was very influenced by him. Led Zeppelin, like, there's that bluesy, rootsy, and I mean, I drew a lot off that when I did my jazz project, because my jazz thing was a bit more rootsy and aggressive than some other people doing the same type of music. So Led Zeppelin, and you know, what can I say? When I was a teenager, listening to all this stuff, when the Dreamboat Annie album came out, I was just like, I've spent the first 20 years of my career going, if I could be half as cool as Ann and Nancy Wilson, I will have achieved my goal. And since I've had the luxury of meeting both of them and actually sharing a stage with them. And so that's just, yeah, to play with my heroes, like, yeah.
For a lot of people, though, you're the pioneer. As a woman in a male-dominated
Well, perhaps in Canada, you know, there weren't a lot of women.
No.
I don't know who. Was there anyone doing rock?
Not in the 80s, not in Canada that I know of.
You know, but again, I was aspiring to be as cool as Ann and Nancy Wilson.
Can I ask you, how the heck do you remain so young looking? Like, what do you do? Do you exercise a lot, or?
I don't know. My mom is still beautiful. I think my mom is gorgeous, inside and out. You know, I think it's about loving life, and like for me, I just always like I went back to college last year just because I was like, you know, I need to exercise my brain now, you know, and I just like to stay active. I have my kids a little bit later in life. I have an 8 and a 9-year-old, and I mean, I golf with my son and play Minecraft with him, and my daughter's in musical theater, and I'm tutoring her in math, and I just, you know, I think you need to keep your mind active. And yeah, like I have the occasional glass of wine, but no, I don't have any really glaringly bad habits. You know, I don't have an addictive personality for substances, but I do have an addictive personality for knowledge and for music and movies, and I just like to be filling my brain and my heart with stuff all the time, and I think that's important, and for all of us to not lose our passions, right? And yeah, there you go. It's my pleasure. Yeah.
By the way, there's one thing I gotta tell you. I interviewed Grace Slick about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
She mentioned you as a very